Well, it's about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up, man?
Hey, man, everything is great. Just came off a weekend while I was touring all over my living room and the kitchen. I'm ready to get
Went on tour in the house. Hey, everybody, welcome to Man Talk Monday. This is an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships, but we do it from a man's perspective. Now, the good thing is, it's not just for men. We want everybody to join in, chat with us. So, men, women, boys, and girls, you can join in. Our comments are live. You can go to our comments. You can check in with us. You can talk to us from there. Also, we have a new page, a Man Talk Mondays page on Facebook. We want you to go to our page, like our page, and you'll also be able to get updates about the show, and you can catch the show live directly from our page as well. So we want to make sure we let y'all know that. We got a hot one tonight. But before we get into that, we're going to do Man Talk Monday News.
Good afternoon. I'm John D. Blackman on Man Talk News. I've been noticing around the neighborhood, a bunch of people have been having things delivered, like soil, like different things. Don't let your woman talk you into being a COVID do-it-yourselfer. You can't put together a pizza after it's been taken apart. You can't do crossword puzzles. You can't put together model cars with a little glue on them. So now you're going to try to redo your bathroom. Get out of here. Tell her to get out of here. Don't you be in there watching those do it yourself and the HD TV thinking I can do that. Fool, they got a crew next to them. You can't do that. Now, this has been John D. Blackman on Man Talk Monday News. Good evening and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Man Talk Monday News. Yeah, y'all be careful with them DIY projects. Yeah, you're right. DIY. I said DIY. DIY projects, right? Yeah, he right. The HGTV, they have a whole crew there. They have a whole, so yeah, let's not do that. But ladies and gentlemen,
He said, let's not do that.
Let's not do that. You just gonna cost you more money, man. Them people got skills for a reason.
Bro, they got a crew on the side. They got a crew with them, man.
Exactly. You don't have no crew. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last week you joined us for what women want to know about men. And let me tell you, the men felt some kind of way about the things that the women were saying. So we decided, let's see what the men have to say, right? So tonight we talking about, well, if you really want to know, right? So we got a couple of men that's going to join us. First off, we got Mr. Wesley Smith. What's going on, Mr. West?
It's good. How y'all doing today?
And we also have Mr. Tony Drake.
What's going on?
You good?
Sir, thanks for having me, man.
Glad you guys could join us tonight, man. So I'm pretty sure you guys caught the show last week. We're talking about what women want to know about men, right? And there were some things that came up in the conversation.
They lied. They
lied. Some things came up in the conversation that we definitely want to address. So let's get into it. Right? So let me just ask, just off the bat, from the show that you caught last week, you guys caught last week, was there any particular thing that jumped out at you? Is anything that kind of stirred you up and say, man, this ain't right, I gotta talk about it?
This ain't right.
What about you?
Go ahead, Wes. I'll let you take it.
I think one of the biggest things is that we have to differentiate between men and boys. That's one of the biggest things we have to talk about, is because, yeah, you can have a guy just because he's of age to be called a man, that don't make him a man. So I think a lot of women are dealing with boys and then, want to blame it on men.
Yeah, he brings up an interesting point. What you think about that, Mr. Drake?
No, I think he's spot on. I think that kind of most of what was talked about in the last segment, or the person that was the type of person that was referenced, what was that boy and not that man. But I think we're gonna end up getting into it because I think a little bit of it was hit last time too. It's not an age factor with the boy and a man, you know what I'm saying? And so that there's a process in there. So, we can get into it.
Okay. We got Miss Monique. She says, I'm ready and listening. I would stay tuned, Monique. You're gonna hear some good stuff. We got some stuff for you tonight, right? All right. So John, what you think about this thing about the boy versus the man whole situation?
Well, I think he's absolutely right, but I think sometimes, and there we touched on this last week, it's a process for everybody. Now, when you meet that guy, he has the physical appearance of a man, but once you talking to him, whether or not he's a man or not, whether or not he's just trying to get in your pants, play you,
Yeah.
Well, because he's 6', we talked about this last week. Because he's 6'3" and with the 6-pack and look like this, we don't listen. And I'm being as honest as 100 with y'all as I can. As women, we look over things just like men do, but women don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
If that guy is cute, we'll put up with some things. If he cute and sexy, because most of the time, especially if they meet a boy, women want to control and be able to say, I can fix him. Oh, I can turn him into a man. He just needs a little help. Now, what he needs is you to stop bending, tooting it over.
Oh.
If you stop that, it'll make him become a man.
Great point. Let me say this for all the women listen. Let me just let you know now. There is a big difference, like they said. There's a big difference between a male and a man. Just because a dude is grown, or he's supposed to be grown, he's full grown physically, does not make him a man. You want to see what a man does not need to run around. And let me tell you, guys that run around, they don't stick around long enough for a woman to see who they really are. A man sticks around for you to, because y'all gonna do it anyway. You're gonna pick him apart. You're gonna tell him everything wrong with him. A man is gonna stay there and listen. But guys, they just go from one to the next, but they don't stay around long enough to give y'all that opportunity to really talk about what you see in him.
Now, Monique is saying all women are not that, and she absolutely right. But let me ask you this, Monique. I bet you know more of your girlfriends that are the other way than are the way we talking about. Now, because most of us don't want to admit it, but we know, because now if you know a group of women and most of them are the way we talking about, then that's the majority, and that's what you guys get judged by. Not to say that you need to be judged by that, but this is what we talking about. Because most of you guys get on here and act like y'all have arrived, and yes, so right now I'm looking for a man who girl bye.
John is talking about it tonight. He is talking about it.
I got some brothers.
Yeah.
You got some help. You feel your help coming on, huh?
See, I think a lot of women want a man who got it together, but a lot of women who want that man don't have it together.
See, that's one of the points we made last week.
So you asking him to bring all this to the table, but what are you actually bringing to the table? Because if it's just your body, then that's gonna fade. So what else do you bring to the table?
It's not an appreciating asset.
Exactly, it's not appreciating.
Wow. Your body is not an appreciating asset. Wow.
But what if the assets are the best that they think that they have to offer right now?
And I think both people get caught in. Let me get Monique. Monique said, no, sir. Most women in my circle are aware and in our adulthood. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Give me an age from what to what, Monique, that you are. Because let me tell you this. Because most time when y'all in y'all 20s, just like us, y'all have did so much damage, y'all just hoping it don't follow you into your 30s. So I'm just curious about what age are you? What age are you between? You want to tell me age? It's what age are you between?
So let me ask this question. At what age would you say men start getting serious?
But hold on. But look what our age is.
Oh wow.
But that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
At that age, you done did it, girl. You done did it. It's done. You tired, girl. You want to sit down somewhere now?
You say that asset didn't appreciate.
Girl, it's dragging out.
All right. So at what age do men actually start getting serious? What would you guys say? What age do we really start getting serious? Or is it an age at all?
I want to say the same, around the same age Monique said. I think once you get in your late 30s and you accomplish some things professionally, I think then that's when men start looking to be married.
Yeah,
what you say, Wesley?
I would say late 20s, 28, 29, and early 30s. That's when a man really starts to get serious.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like so this goes to the process, right? I feel like once you get to like 29, 30, you're just now getting in your prime years. You know what I'm saying? Like prime years as becoming into a man, your manhood prime years. You know what I'm saying? So like before then, it's the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So high school, college, you may still be living with your parents, still trying to figure things out. You know what I'm saying? It's not until get a little, like I said, around that 29, 30, things get to kicking. And the very things that women say they're looking for, you start to acquire, whether that's status, looks, money. You start to get on that into them prime years. That's what I'm.
Okay. So I got to mess with you. So what's the focus in 18 to 20 to late 20s? What's the focus there?
Focus for men or for women?
What's the focus there?
I'm gonna say 18 to 25. I wouldn't even focus on getting myself together. 18 to 25.
Okay, you want to focus on getting yourself together. Okay,
yeah. So I want to focus on getting myself together. Right, from 18 to 25. When I hit like 26, 27, that's when I really started to work on me.
Okay. All right. So Mika said, I can't put an age on it for men. I've seen it early and late. Being surrounded by good men help them mature and progress. All right. So she says, I've seen it early and late. That stuck out to me. I've seen it early and late. Why would a man wait so long?
Because he can.
Because he can.
If you're not gonna put the demand on me,
clarify, brother. Clarify.
If you're not gonna put the demand on me to man up, I'm a boy up. And I ain't gonna do none of that because you got to put the demand on me to do that. If I still can get everything I want and still acting like a boy, and you allow me to, if I get to lay on your couch all day and play PlayStation and beat you up at the end of the night, and you all good and we good, and you not putting no demands on me, why would I change? Wow. Why would I change? Are enough women demanding that men become men? Because let me tell y'all something. If y'all demanded that men were men at 25, we will become men at 25.
Yeah.
Wow. Concy Garza said it's the mindset. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So Anthony says he agrees. Late 20s guys start getting serious. All right, so if we get serious late 20s, what does get serious mean? What are we necessarily getting serious about?
We only can get serious about taking our relationship to the next level if they serious about that. You know, because we got to be looking for the same thing at the same time, which is kind of difficult in dating nowadays because y'all got to compete with the men and the women trying to get the women. So it's a lot going on. But you just got to find somebody. You see, this is what dating is about, man. So does your dating get a lot more serious at 28?
Yeah. So for me personally, I had to deal with myself first because I know I wasn't ready for I know I wasn't good for nobody. So I had to deal with myself first. So I spent 2.5 years just being celibate and learning who I was because I didn't know who I was. So once I started to learn who I was, and I started to date differently. Okay, so now I ain't got time to play games with a woman who ain't thinking the way I'm thinking.
He flipped the script. All right. So Yolanda says, give me the zip code of those particular men in their late 30s.
Okay. Well, let me ask. Can I ask Yolanda something, please?
Go ahead. Ask Yolanda.
You know, at some point, ladies, you have to be. It reminds me of who you are attracting. If you are attracting a certain type of man, maybe you putting out something that you don't know about. Maybe you're doing things the way you need to change up. Because if you're attracting a man that all he want to do is slam down, thank you, man, what you got on? What is your booty out? Is your breast out? What's out? Because if that's the only thing that you're getting, something wrong on your end.
Check the vibe. All right. So Abigail says all men mature differently, but it's the upbringing for the most. I agree to a certain extent. Because upbringing is important. It's very important. But if a man has opportunity, upbringing don't kick in until he gets serious.
Yes.
Once he gets serious, upbringing will kick in. Now, depending on how he's brought up and his values, especially culturally, that may be at a different age. Some cultures value marriage at an earlier age. So let's talk about African Americans. Is it us? Is it us that do we lock into the family thing late?
Well, I can only speak for me. We didn't really lock into the marriage thing. It was get as much as you can and try not to have babies all over the place.
Gotcha. So
yeah.
One of the things that came out last week was dating with a purpose, which is kind of what we're talking about. Dating with a purpose. So as a man, how do you prepare yourself for dating with a purpose?
I honestly think if you don't know you, then you gonna mess that up every time.
Okay, now see, I agree, but don't that work both ways though?
It does work both ways. That's why I said earlier, once I figured out who I was, then when it came to dating, I don't have time to deal with a woman who ain't trying to do right, or who ain't trying to do for herself. My mentality was different after that. Once I started spending time with myself, my mentality became different. So if you're not on the same wavelength, I know people call me harsh when I was dating because I would cut people off at the drop of a hat. Like if I saw something in you that I knew I couldn't deal with, there's no point in this lingering. So let me go ahead and end this now before feelings get involved.
Before feelings get. So what about you, Tony? How do you prepare yourself for dating with a purpose?
I mean, I agree. I feel like he hit it on the head as far as you gotta know your identity. I know that came up in the last I mean, for me myself, it took me getting around. It took me getting around like gentlemen like yourself. You know what I'm saying? People who were good mentors and good examples. You know, who had good relationships that I would want to emulate. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you know, reading, you know, different books and things of that nature to know what to look for. 'Cause I feel like a lot of times you can start dating, and then like sometimes people don't even know, like you don't even know what questions to ask or what information to try to get from the other that, you know what I'm saying, that you may end up down the road running into. And so, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it takes, you know, just getting around certain people who may already be down that road to even know, like, hey, all right, this is something to look for. Or, you know what I'm saying, this is not.
What you got, Jerry? You got something on your mind.
Well, it's a couple of things from the comments.
Hold on, before you get there, let me make sure I get Samantha.
Right.
Samantha says, I don't think we as African Americans see good examples of what a family is.
I agree. I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. Now, that's not to say that nobody comes from good families, but that's to say not enough examples are out there for us to see. So we got to rely on shows like the Cosby's, TV shows to get our families from when we don't really have it in our own community that we can count on. Because most of us, well, I know me and Derek, we were raised by single family. Single moms, just moms.
Yeah.
There's no example. There's no example at that point.
No, you absolutely right. Go ahead, Tony.
Nah, I don't want to get off topic. There's something onto that point though.
Okay.
Yeah, let me talk about Yolanda Morin. She said, come on, that's not fair. Men shoot they shot whoever they are attracted to. What does vibe have to do with it? Okay, all right. I'm glad you asked, Yolanda. Now, if I see you and I think because most of the time when men see things, they think one or two things. Wow. They're gonna say, wow, she bad, she banging. And I'm gonna approach you. Now, I'm gonna have something in my mind. I want to sleep with you, or I want you to be with me. Right? Now, depending on if you can't, and I hate to go here, lady. I do.
We're being real.
If you carrying yourself like a lady, regardless of what I'm thinking about you, if you carry yourself like a lady, I know I can't step you with that belonging. Because I know as soon as I come to you, you're gonna shoot me down because my approach is gonna let you know what I'm coming for. The way I talk to you is gonna let you know. And think about this. If you getting the same type of guys coming to you and they're just trying to sleep with you, you mean to tell me you don't think it's nothing that you're doing? Wait. It ain't nothing that you're doing. Come on now. You see, that's the problem, guys. Nobody wants to admit that we all have something to do with this thing. Everybody want to blame it on other people, and that's just not the case. We all share something in this.
Yeah.
We all share something. We are a byproduct of the decisions that we make and some of the things that we do. And then when you get what you putting out, you don't, oh my God, why they just want to bang me? Well, first of all, your chest down here and your back out. Hey, I like looking at it too, but I don't want to marry it.
Hey,
ladies and gentlemen, I think we have just stepped into the real zone. All right. Mika said, why is John's voice so that high? We hear you. That is funny. Okay. Now he brings up a good point. I knew a guy, and this guy smoked weed. He was a weed smoker to his heart. And it always boggled my mind, no matter where he went, it could be a completely different city. He would always find smokers. He would always find somebody to smoke with. How easy these people, no matter where he goes, he finds because he was a smoker. His spirit said, I smoke. And so it attracted other smokers. This is what we're talking about. You got to start taking personal responsibility to say, what vibe am I putting out? You got to start examining yourself to say, If I'm attracting the same kind of guy,
I'm just saying.
Is it really on the guys?
I'm just saying, man. And listen, because if it's not, then we got this thing all messed up. Then
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. But Wesley and Tony, we brought y'all over here to talk.
Hey, look.
Hey, John is in rare form tonight. I just want to let y'all.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We here for you.
Hey, the prophet Cat Williams said, "Women say all men are dogs, men are dogs." He said, "Eventually, you gotta look at yourself and say, why does my attract dogs?"
Right. So, all right. So we're talking about what motivates us in terms of relationships. What motivates men?
As far as what?
As far as what are you after? What are you looking for? What is your motivation to get right? To, you know what I'm saying? Like Wesley said, I had to spend time with myself to figure out who I was. What motivated that for you? All right. So Anthony said women mature faster than we do. I feel that around 25 to 30. We believe now that we've accomplished some goals like graduating college and finding that career, and feel that we've gotten established. It's that time to find that one that we will walk beside you through whatever and start a legacy.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
And start a legacy. So what's the motivation to get right?
I mean, I think for me was seeing what the men that I surrounded myself with, seeing what they had and wanting that. So growing up, I never saw a good marriage. So when I started hanging around real men and listening to them talk about their wives, I remember just sitting in a room and it was you and Brother John and Reggie talking about your wives. And I had never heard men speak that way about their wives. You hear, oh, she getting on my nerves. She about to drive me crazy. Ooh, I want to choke her. But you never hear men say,
she do all that. Go on now.
We just don't mean it. No, I'm like,
but you never hear men
just be in the process. Okay.
But you never hear men speak good of their wives. So you never hear men say, I was sitting there just listening like, man, oh, this is the way men should be. Brother John was saying, man, my wife, if I tell my wife something, oh, baby, let's do this. Let's start this restaurant. She coming to me the next day with five different buildings we can use to open up a restaurant.
Yeah, that's good.
The crazy thing is he remembers that conversation. That was like 5 years ago.
Because I don't remember.
And ladies, let me just say this for all the ladies out there. When a man gets serious, he looks for people he can gravitate to who are what he wants to be. If you start seeing a guy started being around certain men that have families or that have marriages and stuff like that, he is getting serious.
Yeah,
he is getting serious. What'd you say, John?
I'm gonna say when I met my wife, I wasn't ready to be serious. I was still ready to sow my royal oats. But when I met my wife, you know how when you got something good, you say, this might be wifey, but I'm not ready for wifey yet. So I got a decision to make. Either I'm gonna let her go and let somebody else grab wifey and live happy ever after, or I'm gonna straighten up and get myself together so I can get ready for wifey. And so
that's good. That's good. I was finna say like Martin did in Thin Line Between Love and Hate. He said, "Hey, will you wait for me? Could you wait for me?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's real. I think my experience was more like yours, Brother John. I was my initial motivation was just that I was done doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I had, I went through my own little phase, you know what I'm saying, just wilding, whatever you want to call it. But then I was like, okay, I'm good with this. It's bringing the same stuff, seeing the same circle. I'm ready to get serious, find something that, you know what I'm saying, stable and
But
create a
in
legacy.
everything, but don't you have to see it from the woman first? You know, if you get that from the woman that, hey, listen, I'm serious. This is what I want. Because I never forget my wife say, I just got saved and I don't have time for no games. So if you just play the game, I ain't got time for the game. It was so funny at the time. But here it is. She put that out to me and let me know, hey, listen, I am serious about my life and what's going on. And if you want to play, go on now, because I ain't got time.
What did she put out? She put the standard out.
Yeah.
She put the standard. We talked about that last week.
Standard.
Women, you got to be careful what standard you're putting out for men. And listen, your standard is the dividing line between the boys and the men. The men are going to step up to the standard. The boys will retreat. They're going to run away. Right? So Charlotte says, I've encountered guys who have wanted me because of how I treated another man.
Boy, she bragging.
Hey, that's a player move right there.
That's real.
That's a player move.
Because it happens for women too. Because women pay attention to how a man treats a woman.
Yeah.
And if that woman start acting up, even her girls will step up and say, oh, I'm just waiting on her to mess this up.
Hey, listen, because everybody can recognize when you got so good. Everybody can recognize when you got
except
so
the
good.
person that's in it.
You know why? Because they think they got that one, they think they get another one. They think another bus will be along. Real talk, they think another bus will be along. They don't tell you that it'll be 20 years for another bus come along like that.
Now, me and John had a conversation one time. I don't think he even remembers this, but he said something very profound one time. He says, even Halle Berry, once you get her, she becomes common to you.
Listen, I have dated Halle Berry's before.
You dated some Halle Berry's before?
And I'm tired of them.
That's good.
That's real talk, man.
But you can look at her and tell if she been through multiple marriages. So you know that's
exactly
real.
It can't be just the man she married. It gotta be something wrong with her.
Men ask that question. They're like, man, Halle Berry, man, boy, you get a Halle Berry, boy, you gonna hold on to that. But why has she had failed marriage, failed relationship after relationship?
Well, because people are carnal. People want you. You can look good enough for people to get around it. Because most of the time, we just want something we can brag about. Hey, man, bro, I got Halle. I got Sanaa Lathan, bro. Look there, look. And then when you get up and around them, you realize y'all don't have nothing. Y'all can't talk about nothing. Y'all don't want the same things out of life. You want kids. She don't want kids. You know, y'all. And then it's like, well, now I'm up in here. What do I do? Do I retreat or do I try to work it out? Well, most of the time we try for a little while, but it don't end up working because we don't have anything. We don't have anything that we can build on.
Yeah. Constance says, someone who is going to be there building a future, someone who sacrifices as much as I do. Constance said, I want somebody that's in like me. That's what I'm looking for.
Man, I feel like that's rare.
Somebody who's in it the same as you?
Yeah, I feel like that's very rare.
It is.
Okay, let me get Doug's comment. I want to go back to that. Just something about that. All right, Doug says you realize you guys are saying that the virtue of the woman matures the man. The change from boyhood to manhood is a result of wanting that the vision he saw when he first met that woman. All right, so he's saying when you meet a woman, you start picturing this life, and that's what you want, and that's what motivates. So it's her virtue that motivates you. He's absolutely right. Her virtue motivates us. He's absolutely right.
It's not that booty. Her booty motivates us in another way.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we got it.
But now that brings up an interesting point. I don't think women really understand the influence they have on us.
All the time, man. Mm-hmm.
I don't really think they understand. And when you get a man who is quote unquote doing you bad, then I don't think you really realize your power and you settling for something that's beneath you. Terrence Howard said something that hit me like a ton of bricks. He said he had an uncle that was a pimp. And he said his uncle told him the person that cares the least controls the relationship.
That's true.
That's true. I had a friend tell me that one time.
That's true.
How y'all feel about that point? Is
That's
that how does that work for guys? Has a woman ever hurt you before?
Oh yeah, well, listen. Every man that had their foot slightly twisted in their behind. Every man. Most men run away from relationships because of that, because we don't never get rid. It don't never heal for us like it's supposed to, but we don't talk about it. We try to be, oh man, shoot, I ain't never gave my heart to a woman. Most of the time we had that one time that we did and we got crushed. Tony, you got something?
No, I was gonna say, so you know what I found from that, and my boy ended up telling me like his partner had wrote a book on it, but it was real. He said, men don't heal, we hope. And I was like, ooh. I was like, that's
Wow.
that's and I found that real. I found that to be true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wes, before I dive into it. Go ahead. You got something?
Oh no, I just thought that was
Okay,
cold.
all right. So let me say, because last week it came up, why do men want to break a successful woman down? When she's one of the young ladies, she was talking about men breaking women down. And I think it goes back to that point. When you say men don't heal a hoe, you're right. There's a pain from somebody that hurt us that we're trying to medicate. But how we medicate is sex. That's how we medicate.
Yeah.
So women, what you have to watch out for is do you have a man that's hurting? It's two reasons why a man would do that. It's either hurt or fear. It's hurt because now he can't pay that woman back that did him wrong, so he gonna pay other women back. Or fear, he doesn't want to be hurt again.
Yeah.
So he plays everything fast and loose. He's not getting serious about nothing because he doesn't want to feel that pain again. Because he's absolutely right. It takes us a long time to heal because of pride. Because of pride, it takes us a long time to heal. What you say, John?
I'm looking at Monique. Yeah, that's what I was going to go to right there.
All right. So Monique said, question. Are you saying most men are not sure of what they want until they meet the right woman?
Look, see, this is the thing, Monique. It's not that I wasn't sure, because actually what happened with me was I was getting ready for the right woman, and I didn't know I was. I wasn't dating like I used to date. I wasn't running through women like I used to run through them. I had kind of slowed up. And so when I slowed up, I was in a period where if I was going to meet somebody, that was when I was supposed to meet them, because all the noise was gone. So I'm not saying that you aren't right, but I'm saying this: men can have other things on their mind, and a virtuous woman can change their mind. So it's kind of twofold. Yes, we know what we want, but we don't often find it. But if we veer from that, the righteous woman, a virtuous woman, can get us back, is what I'm saying. So I don't really know whether that's a yes or no, or maybe it's a combination of both.
All right. Charlotte said either way, it's unfair to the woman that's treating you right. And listen, it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Woman hurts man, man hurts woman, who hurts man, who hurts woman, who hurts man. And I think it's important to take the time to just heal. And I think for men, what John?
We don't have time for that, D. If a man hurts a woman, that's what we do. It's wrong to say men don't heal, women don't heal either. We don't heal either because we don't have time. We don't have time to heal. We try to move on to the next one. We try to move on.
Right. But I think it goes back to what Wesley was saying. Wesley said, man, I had to take a good look at myself and pull up And most people are not willing to pull up to take the time to get themselves together, acknowledge some stuff that they've been through, some hurts that they've actually had, because you just keep putting band-aids on a wound. And everybody comes by to keep snatching the band-aid off, and you just keep getting hurt. Well, how about actually letting the wound heal for a minute? How about taking the time and actually letting the wound heal? And now you're healthier to go into a relationship, because if you're not healthy, you're not seeing clearly. So that guy that you picking is somebody to medicate, not somebody who's based on your healing.
Oh, that's good.
I think that's what most people are running into. If you need to pull up, just pull up and say, hey, I just need to get out the game for a minute.
I need to get my head right, myself together. But how many people?
I mean, a lot of people don't know how to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we say a lot of things, and what I've learned too is that now, like, we get to a point, even as you know, in the church, or just men of God, women of God, you know, we have to start teaching things that are practical. Like, you know what I'm saying? What people are looking for, how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even when I was in that state, say where I wasn't healing, you know what I'm saying? I didn't choose to heal, I chose to hold. So my thing was, like, forget the hurt. How I'm gonna forget the hurt is by grabbing, you know what I'm saying, taking in more and more women. By that point, I'll forget that, you know what I'm saying? And so I try to choose to forget instead of choosing to forgive, and, you know what I'm saying, like, and heal from that. But I guess, you know, at the time, I really didn't know how. So, you know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, we can get to a point where got to start sharing it.
Everybody has that one person that really did them dirty, and that really had their heart.
Yeah.
And so we go through our lives often reflecting back and thinking about that, but we don't never truly heal from it. Because every man and every woman has that guy they was really crazy about, that did them dirty, or that you did dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, and you know, it's funny because we don't talk about that in relationships. So we don't talk about that in counseling. We'll talk about healing from past hurt. We don't talk about that because everybody's too busy trying to see what's wrong with him or what's wrong with her. And Latasha got to think, y'all get to it.
So am I hearing that the woman has to be ready, and she has to help him along the way to get ready, heal, start his business, etc.? Okay. All right. So listen, and let me just be frank with all women. You cannot change a man.
Exactly.
You cannot get him ready. What you are, you're the carrot.
Yes.
To get him to move. Yes. You're the carrot. You're not the catalyst. Listen, let me say this. And women that try to take on a man and say you're going to change him, you are setting yourself up for failure. Exactly. You cannot change a man. It has to be motivated in himself to actually change. You can be a catalyst because he's looking at you. He says, I want to build something with her. She's somebody I can build something with.
Yes. And go ahead, Wes. No, Wes, you go ahead.
So I was about to say, I think that's one of the biggest things, because most women don't want a man who already got himself together. Most women want the man who they got to work on. I can make him a better man. I can make him a better man. But if he in the friend, you got a friend that's in the friend zone looking at you like, he got to listen to you talk about all these men, and he thinking like, if you
I've been right here the whole time. I've been sitting there the whole time.
If you had been sitting here the whole time. If you had yourself together, then you would recognize him.
I just had to put this up. I saw this and I thought it was real good. And it says, where are all the real men at? And it says, me, check your friend zone.
Exactly.
All right. I just had to put that out there. But boy, you just said something.
Hold on.
All right. So listen, lies, Wesley, lies.
I had a girl say this to me. She said, you're the man I would marry. So you mean after all these guys,
where's it at?
After all this, now you want me to push you.
Hey, she got plans first. She got
Right.
plans first.
Right. And let's get over this thing of thinking that women are these virtuous creatures who don't do wrong. We're all messing up. We're all
Yes.
everybody. It's not based on gender. Everybody's stuck on stupid at some point until we wise up.
And we all have to be ready for that next. We all have to be ready to be married, man. We have to, you have to be in a place in your life where you can become somebody's wife or husband. Because, man, the sacrifice you make in those moments, man, you got to be ready for that. Because if you're selfish, you got to get ready for that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this Cheryl says we have to know who we are as men and women. You can't change anyone, but you can enhance one another. It's called partnership. Girl, you better.
I agree with that.
Yeah. She's speaking. Ooh, John, you got a wise.
Beth says you got to be ready. And the thing is, it's not necessarily a thing of being ready. It's when do I start getting ready? Because here's the thing.
That's true.
Here's the fear for a man a lot of times. Once he starts getting ready, is he going to be ready enough for that one that made him say, I need to get myself together?
Well, now that's a good question, D. But I find most of the time, though, women are, if they know if you're not exactly in the place you need to be, or vice versa, because of how I'm feeling about you, there is some grace. There's some grace allowed both ways. Because one of the misconceptions about relationships is women have a list of what they want. Well, guys do too. And so, women, if you think that you meet all of the criteria that guys have, you're mistaken. There's some grace in that list. I don't know. There's no telling how much, but in the same grace, I'm asking you to allow him.
This one.
All right. So Monique said most of the time the friend zone means you're not attracted to them. It depends on what the person wants.
You know what? She just told the truth. She just told the truth then.
Go ahead.
She told, girl.
So
speak on it, Wesley.
So if you want the man with the 6-pack, abs, and all that, don't get mad when he treats you like a dog.
Well, Wesley, listen.
So if that's what you want, then don't get mad. Don't say all men are dogs. Just the man you dealing with at that point in time is a dog.
All things that look good ain't good for you.
Ain't good for you.
We can want them to do right.
Right.
But listen, but that goes to so that kind of goes to the point of this whole thing I was talking about as far as the process for a man. I feel like when you're younger, like girls already from high school on up, like they already have everything ready for them. Like we ready to go for them because they got the looks, the beauty, they got the thirst from the men, but we don't have what they are looking for, right? So we don't automatically come out and have the status or the looks or the money. We grow into our looks, you know what I'm saying? We acquire our status and then we start building the money. That's why I say by like 28, 29, 30, we in our prime. You know what I'm saying? So you don't put all these people in your friend zone and you don't even know what they about to become and who they are. And then later when they have it, now you want them.
Now you see how they
looking at him like, ooh, all of a sudden he look good. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you take somebody who like a Lil Wayne or something, and you like, why? How like you know what I'm saying? Just going off appearance, but that money make them look real good.
I'm just saying, because Lil Wayne, come on now, y'all know he like Secret Squirrel.
All right, let me get Sophia's comment. Sophia says I can't even type fast enough. Man, bring us on the panel with y'all next time. I have some stuff to say. So we got people want to get on.
We got to bring her on, D. We got to bring Sophia on.
The issue is that courting no longer exists. People go from text me to marry me too quick. Wow. Wow. Monique said, let me call in. She want to hop on right now. So somebody made a statement. Somebody made a statement last week, that I want to address before we get out. All right. They were talking about, they said women are taught to be wives, but men are not taught to be husbands. What y'all think about that statement?
I don't think women are taught to be wives.
John giving us the whatever face. Right? What'd you say, Wesley?
I said I don't think women are taught to be wives because most of the women that these women hang around aren't married. So how you taught to be a wife when you never experienced a wife?
Let me speak on that too. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Now finish your thought, bro.
Now I would say it's the same way with men. How can you be a man if you never put yourself around real men? And for women, how can you say you want this type of man if you never experienced that type of man? So I know that our first experience for a woman, her first experience of a real man should be her father. But if your father not around and you have no man in your life to show you what a real man looks like, then how are you to expect us to be that real man that you want?
Good. That's good. And also I was gonna speak really off of what you just said and what Brother John said earlier about, us as African Americans not really having, what I'm saying, like that ideal family to look at. So what has happened is we we see a lot of single mother homes and then they have kids. And so whether you talk about you have a girl or you have a son. So if you have a girl, you see a lot of, the mom teaches her based off her hurt if the man's not in the building. So, So, oh, girl, you need to be independent. You need to do this and you need to do that. You need to look for this type of man. And they, like you tell them to look for, this type of man, which would be certainly contrary to the man that you actually had. So it's like, how is it, you teaching something. And then if you have a son and you teaching them, you're teaching them to be what's called the anti-man. So, like not, don't be this or don't be that or don't be this, which then later they become not assertive or not confident or, not this. And so, it comes full circle, like you said from the beginning.
So let me say what you guys just said. I remember somebody saying, Sophia said we all need some lessons. I remember somebody saying, how can cops tell real IDs from fake IDs? And he said it's not that they studied the fake IDs, they've studied the real ID enough to know when one is fake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, how many of us have had a real man to study to know what's fake and what's real? Because Tony said, you telling her to go get a man based on the antithesis of what you had. You didn't have a good one. And so you said, oh, so the opposite must be good, when that's probably not true.
Well, what's ironic though, man, and I didn't see this coming this way, but if men were more prevalent in the houses, man, the men and women would turn out better. Because that daughter would have somebody to look up to and show her what, and help her set standards for herself, and that father would do the same with their son. That's not to say that mothers can't do it, but it's just different when it's a dad, when it's a man in the house is being doing. And I think the culture is an environment of one that comes up without dads being prevalent in their lives. And that's why we go through a lot of things of us trying to find out who we are, because we don't really know. And so now you look for this man to be your daddy, or you look for this girl to be your mama, because you hadn't been trained like you were supposed to at home. Now, because I tell my wife to call me daddy, she won't never call me daddy, but I still tell her to call me daddy.
Because here's the reality. Majority of young men come from single parent homes where we're raised by a woman. Mm-hmm. So the women that complain about these men probably were created by a woman. That type of man that you're dealing with came from a woman. And we're all running off the perception of what we think a man is. Because if there is no real man in the picture, you're going to be all over the place trying to figure it out. And that's where we are. We're all over the place trying to figure it out. There are some good men, some real men in this world, but they're so far and few between that we don't really recognize them. Sophia said the issue is that we have to work on that traumatized child before that hurting adult. Most adults are keeping that toxic cycle going since childhood. Listen, I tell people, your bad habits become your child's second nature. Your bad decisions become your child's second nature. You going through life making bad decisions, but your child is seeing it and just thinking, oh, that's how it is.
That's how we're supposed to do. That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
So they just operating off bad information, but they don't understand it's bad information. So when she talks about their traumatized child, we got to see what are the scripts that are running our head that are programming who we are. Where did it come from? That means you got to question mom. I know you love her. I know she did everything for you, but you got to question, was she right or was she wrong? And if she wrong, you got to admit it and say, I need to back up, take the time to get myself together.
Wow. Say, Pappy, where was you at?
Right.
Where was you at?
Right. All right. So Beth says we got to take it back to the biblical relationship. Now you want to go to the Bible. Listen, the guy wasn't getting to the girl without going through her daddy.
Oh, exactly.
He had to go to him first.
You're right.
So, you know, my wife. I went to my wife's father and asked for her hand. You know,
that was this pretty boy dude, looked something like Tony, had came over to my house to get my daughter to take her out, right? And I ain't like him because he was pretty and had good hair. So I told him, I said, "Hey man, we're gonna have
pretty wicked what they call him."
I said we're gonna have to pray before you take my daughter anywhere. And so everybody looking at me like I was crazy, but I was like, Lord, I don't want to go back to jail. But if this boy don't do like he's supposed to do, I'm gonna kill somebody. I'm gonna shoot somebody because I don't want nobody playing around with my daughter. Because as a man, we have to be that watchdog at the door for our daughters, man.
In Jesus'
name. Okay.
Amen. Cheryl said, as a woman, you know what you want. I didn't grow up with my dad. However, I knew I wanted to be married for life. Right. You had a desire, but you didn't have the knowledge.
Yes.
And I think we fumbled through trying to figure out the knowledge, but the desire drives us in a direction where we keep searching. And I think if you keep searching enough, God will bring the answers that you're looking for, but you got to want to actually start searching. All right. So, all right, man. Good stuff, man. Great stuff. But next week we want to bring the women back. We want to bring some women in. We're going to have men and women. We're going to have this discussion together. We just wanted to separate it for a minute. So there will be part three. Part three coming next week. We're going to get the men and the women together and we're going to talk about it. All right. Maurice said, I like that. All right. Because we want to get some clarity on this because there's so much at stake that we have to realize what's really at stake. Right. So a final wrap up for us. I said we're going to do. One thing about if you don't know where you're going, how do you know how to prepare? And most people don't take the time to figure out their destination to know how they need to start preparing themselves. Is your destination marriage? What is it? If your destination is marriage, then you know how to prepare yourself. If you're going on a long trip, if you're going to Hawaii, you're not going to pack a coat because automatically your destination has already discriminated against some of the things some other choices that you had. And it helps make that choice clear. So if you want your choice to be clear about how to go about your dating and your relationships, you have to set a destination in mind. Where are you trying to end up in life? 20, 30 years down the road, where will you be? And who's going to help you get there? Who's going to be somebody that you want to take along that trip with you? This is the thing that we need to decide before we even go into it. Let's stop being hasty about relationships and actually decide on the destination first, because that destination is going to save us a lot of time and a lot of trouble as we start to prepare ourselves for what we're trying to do. And that's a King Speak for this week. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to thank Tony, thank Wesley, thank you guys for jumping on. Like I said, we're gonna pick it up back up next week. Hey, go to our page on Facebook, Man Talk Monday page, like our page, and you can join in from the page. So we want to definitely make sure y'all go to our page. But we appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for the comments. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next week.